Call the roll, please.
Gretkin,
Here.
Moore,
Here.
Shaner. Here. Scott,
Here.
Waters.
Here.
Stand for a moment of silent prayer followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the
Flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mike and Cindy Woods. Whereas the Mental Health Association of Siouxland has raised awareness for hunger and homelessness through a Siouxland Sleepout event each November since 2005, and whereas the Siouxland Coalition to End Homelessness is a diverse group of agencies and individuals which has at its mission to eliminate and prevent homelessness through collaborative planning, advocacy, and funding of a system of housing and support services. And whereas the City Council members recognize that hunger and homelessness continue to be a serious problem for many individuals and families in Sioux City throughout the world. Whereas we urge all citizens to join recognizing the important role we can each play in making a difference in the lives of individuals and families who are hungry and homeless here and elsewhere. Now therefore, I, Robert E. Scott, Mayor of the City of Sioux City, Iowa, on behalf of the City Council, join the Mental Health Association of Siouxland and the Siouxland Coalition to End Homelessness, proclaiming November 2020 as National Hunger and Homeless Awareness Month in Sioux City. Present this to you guys. Say a few words if you would like. Thank you.
Thanks, Bob. Once again, we want to thank the city for all their support. This is our 16th Sleep Out. And this year we got to reinvent the wheel. We will be doing the Sleep Out mostly virtually this year, which means that there will be a small group of us at Cone Park on Friday night, and we've invited the community to join us from their backyard. So we will have a virtual event where people can sleep out in their own backyards and still be a part of the event. We hope that it will be a huge success where people make it a little easier for people not to even have to leave their yard.
Yeah.
So we're looking forward to it and hoping for a good event.
All right, well, thank you. Keep
Thank
up the
you.
good work. Cindy. Thanks, Mike. Then I have a proclamation that reads, whereas lung cancer is the leading cause of cancer in death in both men and women in the United States and in Sioux City in 2020. And according to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, there were 409 lung cancer cases and 284 deaths due to lung cancer between 2013 and 2017 in Woodbury County. The 5-year survival rate for localized lung cancer is 59%, but only 17% of the lung cancers are diagnosed at this stage. Whereas screening for lung cancer for high-risk individuals can lead to earlier detection of lung cancer and save lives, and whereas organizations working in Sioux City communities such as the American Lung Cancer Screening Initiative and the Women's Lung Cancer Forum are committed to educating about lung cancer screening, and working to increase lung cancer screening rates in Iowa. Now, therefore, I, Robert E. Scott, Mayor of the City of Sioux City, Iowa, on behalf of the City Council, do hereby proclaim November 2020 as Lung Cancer Awareness Month in Sioux City, Iowa, and recognize the need for lung cancer research. I encourage all citizens to learn about lung cancer and early detection through lung cancer screening. All right. We'll go on to interviews for boards and commissions. Historic Preservation Commission, Elizabeth Dooley Hope. Come on up and tell us a little bit about yourself and why you want to serve.
Hello, everyone. I was born and raised in Sioux City and went off to work in New York as a photographer, specializing in architectural photography, and I'd really like to come back into the community with that offering to help basically preserve, expand upon, and learn more about the history of the architecture and preservation of the city.
Thank you for
And
making.
hopefully, or yeah, sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, and hopefully take some great pictures of the
Yes,
architecture downtown. I think that'd be great as well.
Absolutely, that's my passion.
I wanted to thank you for making the application as well, and your resume looks great.
Thank you.
So, yeah, thank you for taking the time to do that, and I think you'd be a really good addition.
Thank you so much.
All right,
Thank you.
Appreciate you applying. Next is Inclusive Sioux City, Michael O'Connor. Go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Good afternoon, City Council, fellow citizens of Sioux City. My name is Michael Patrick Wambadi Gadeska O'Connor. Wambadi Gadeska translates to spotted eagle in the Dakota language. I am an enrolled member of the Hangtuan Oyate, the Yankton Sioux tribe of South Dakota. I've called Sioux City my home for approximately 35 years, give or take a year. I grew up in Sioux City schools. I raised my family in the Sioux City schools. I love my community. I love Sioux City. The reason why I want to be on the board is simply because my grandmas and grandpas taught me that I needed to be of service and that I was the next generation of elders. And until I reach that point, my life should be devoted to serving my community. And if I fail to do that, then I fail to serve and I fail my community. Just like in the Bible, they say faith without works is dead. I just passed by the line by the Martin Luther King Center, and I paid tribute to the bus that included George Boykin, Beulah Webb, Rabbi Albert Gordon, MLK, Martin Luther King, Connie Spain, Sergeant John Rice, Dr. Susan LaFleche Peacock. And so it was a privilege to do that, and I just couldn't help but to think that they would be very happy and embrace this diversity inclusive advisory committee. And so I do have a extensive background of working particularly with people, with organizations, including tribal and state officials and youth, Native American youth and adults. I'm experienced cultural training and diversity presenter, and I also have an extensive background including community engagement and outreach. Growing up in Sioux City community, as a Native American, I feel like I, well, for lack of a better word, am qualified. I hate to use that word, but I feel like with my background and my willingness and my love for our community, that we can come together, increase understanding, community engagement, find common ground to partnership for a healthier community where everybody feels as though they are part of.
Okay. Any other questions? Michael? Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, I respect I can't do that. I'm the elder.
You're the elder.
Michael, thanks for putting in for the opportunity to participate in the Inclusive Sioux City Committee. I know that you've been actively involved and you attend a lot of meetings and you have a lot of insight to add, and I hope it works out for you and the committee turns out to be a really good venture for the city. So thank you.
Thank you.
Michael, I just wanted to add to that I appreciate your comments that you made today and listened to all of them. I did have a question for you that is off topic, but it really isn't off topic. Is the Memorial March to honor the lost children, is that going to take on a different type of dimension with the COVID-19 that we have going on?
Yes.
That occurs every year?
Typically, I am on the planning committee, but this year I haven't been. But yes, a lot of the presentations are going to be virtual.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you for that, and thank you for making this application.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Michael.
Ken Sick, I hope I said that right. If I didn't, I apologize. Go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Good afternoon, everybody. My family and a lot of Asian people came here to the state around '85, and a lot of us doesn't know anything, doesn't speak English, and no one ever show us the way. So our parents got jobs right away, and as soon as we became of age, we looked for job right away. So growing up, I always wanted to be a part of the community, wanted to help as much as I can, because there was nobody helping my family or my people when we first came. So that's why I'm here. If anything I can do to help the community, I don't have much experience, but I'm willing to learn and ready to help. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Questions?
Thank you for making the application, and I can't recall for sure, but in one of the applications, the applicant said they have lots of patience as well. I think that was you. And so thank you for having patience as well.
Thank you.
He and I probably have that in common, I would.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're a lot like the mayor when it comes to having patience.
Keep moving.
Patience
Keep
of
moving.
Job.
Keep
All
moving
right,
on.
Board of Adjustment, David Bruxius.
Broxius. It's Broxius, but I don't see him. I know David. I don't see him today.
Okay, we're going to go on to the consent agenda today. It's items 3 through 12E, not D. I'll read those items. If you want to speak on an item, please come up as I read it. State your name and address for the record. Limit your remarks to 3 minutes. You'll assume you pass unanimously unless a separate roll call vote's asked for by a council member. On the regular agenda, please come up if you want to speak on that. Again, state your name and address. If you have anything that you want to speak about not on the agenda, please come up under citizen concerns. I'll move the consent agenda.
Second.
3 is a reading of the city council minutes of October 26, 2020. 4 is a resolution amending the position classification manual by adding a community inclusion liaison. 5 is a resolution authorizing payment to RP Constructors for the North Hangar Improvements Project at the airport. Actions relating to annual reports, items 6A through C, are motions approving the annual reports of the Events Facility and Tourism Advisory Board, Gillian Kosovo Sister City Committee, and the Human Rights Commission. I'm going to stop right there for a minute because I think we ought to try to do this, and we probably can't get it done. But 100 plus of our Army Reserve or Guard guys are in Kosovo today. Somehow, we as a council and the citizens ought to try to do something, send them something over Christmas. I don't know what it would be, I have no idea, but we need to try to think about something to get to those soldiers that are over there that are not going to be home for Christmas. They're over there for a year.
Even if it was a letter campaign or something.
Yeah, Christmas cards or whatever. So Bob, could you work on their names that are over there?
How many did you say?
I think 130 the day I went down. There were like 110 that were leaving. Some of them are going a little bit later. I think like Jeremy Taylor.
Yeah, I remember.
Got to stay till after the election, I think. But anyway, I just think we ought to, especially in light of the fact that that's our sister city area over there. Now, they're not right by Gillian, but at least just something to think about.
This is the 185th, Mayor?
No, this is the I always say it wrong, Pete, 113th?
The Army National Guard?
Yeah, isn't
Yeah.
that what you were in?
Yes, but it was the second mech when I was there, mechanized infantry.
Yeah, I think it's 133rd.
I think you're right.
13th.
Air Cav,
I always say 133rd, but 133rd is actually a
Yep.
reserve unit, I think, so.
Yeah, I think you're right.
That's a great
Thank you.
idea. That's a really good idea.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
Well, we'll think about, see what we can do. 7s are actions relating to bonds. Or I should finish, I think I did say Human Rights Commission. So 7 are actions relating bond resolution approving a loan agreement, tax exemption certificate, and continuing disclosure certificate, and authorizing issuance of GO refunding capital loan notes. B is a resolution approving a loan agreement and continuing disclosure certificate, and authorizing issuance of taxable GO refunding capital notes. 8 are actions relating to agreements and contracts. A is a resolution approving a contract to Nystrom Electric Company for the fire alarm replacement project. B is a resolution approving an emergency contract with Bainbridge Construction for the utility pavement repair project. C are Fibercom items A, C 1 to 3 are resolutions granting permits to Fibercom to maintain underground cable in areas of 21st and Jackson, York Street and Donner Avenue, and West 3rd and Kansas Street. 9 are actions relating to property. A is a resolution proposing to sell property near 1423 Ruby Street. Royce and Lisa Atkinson are the petitioners. B is a resolution proposing to sell real property near 3376 and a half Stone Park Boulevard. The petitioner is Warren Dunkel. 10 are purchasing. A is a resolution awarding a purchase order to Murphy Tractor and Equipment for 2 John Deere road graders. B is a resolution awarding a purchase order to Thomas Bus Sales for a transit system bus.
I have a question on that one, Mayor. Mike, do I understand your write-up correctly that federal grant or federal monies would be about 61,000?
That's about
And the
right.
city money is about 17,000? Is that a guarantee from the federal government on that 61,000?
That's an agreement we already have in place that you've approved.
Okay, and the bus you're purchasing, I think, has a 5-year service life, you said?
Yeah.
That's pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah, this is for the light-duty paratransit bus.
Right,
Right.
okay, okay. Thank you, Mike.
You bet.
C is a resolution awarding a purchase order to Hyman for turnout gear for the fire rescue. 11 are applications for beer and liquor license. See the list, come forward if you have questions. 12, receipt of minutes. See the list, come forward if you have questions. Anyone to be heard on any of those items? Seeing none, call the roll, please.
Shaner. Scott.
Aye.
Waters.
Aye.
Gretkin.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
13 is a hearing and ordinance amending the municipal code to allow in-ground swimming pools to be protected by a power safety cover. Petitioner Paul Koskovich, P&Z recommends denial. First consideration approved October 26, 2020. I'll move second reading with, where's our staff member, Jeff? Is it reading the way it's supposed to read now? With the changes made by the planning and zoning staff.
Second that.
Scott.
Aye.
Waters.
Aye.
Gretkin.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Shaner.
Anybody opposed to waiving statutory rule?
No.
I'll move it.
Second.
Waters.
Aye.
Gretkin.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Shaner. Scott.
Aye. 14 is a hearing and resolution determining an area of the city to be blighted and economic development area designated again. Oh, I got to do third reading. I'll move
Yep.
third reading. My bad. Sorry.
Second.
Gretkin.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Shaner. Scott.
Aye.
Waters.
Aye.
14 is a hearing and resolution determining area of the city to be blighted and economic development area designating it as an urban renewal project and adopting amendment number 1 to the combined Central Sioux City CBD urban renewal plan. I'll move that.
Second.
Anyone to be heard? The hearing's open.
Is this is just to establish the TIF district, isn't it? Okay, and the use of TIF funds. Thank you.
Hearing is closed. Call the roll, please.
Moore.
Aye.
Shaner. Scott.
Aye.
Waters.
Aye.
Gretkin.
Aye.
15 is a hearing and resolution accepting the proposal of Badgerville Development for property in the combined Central Sioux City CBD urban renewal area and authorizing development minimum assessment parking license agreement deferred from October 19th. Motion request to divert this item till November 16, 2020. I'll move that.
Second.
Shaner. Scott.
Aye.
Waters.
Aye.
Gretkin.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Okay, 16, resolution awarding a purchase order to TBS Electronic for Motorola portable radio system at the Tyson Event Center and Orpheum Theater deferred from October 19, 2020. Motion is requested to amend this item to reject all bids. I'll move that.
Second.
Scott.
Did you want to explain that, or?
Jessica Johnson, the city manager's office. Staff's just recommendation is to reject the bids and rebid the radios, this time having Spectra specify makes and models that are acceptable so that it's equal quality radios that they're looking for, but it's not specific to just Motorola.
Okay. Thank you.
Scott.
Aye.
Waters.
Aye.
Gretkin.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Shaner.
17 is a resolution awarding a service provider agreement to TBS Electronic for installation of the portable radio system deferred from October 19, 2020. Motion's needed to delete this. I'll move it.
Second.
Waters.
Aye.
Gretkin.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Shaner. Scott.
Aye. Citizen concerns. Any citizen to be heard? Seeing none. Julie. You have anything, Julie?
I'm home a little under the weather. I just wish everybody well. Be safe when you get out tomorrow to vote. Have nothing else.
Pete?
No, nothing, thank you.
Alec?
Yeah, a couple things. First and foremost, I would just encourage anyone that has not yet, make sure that they get out and vote and use their voice in this election. There are a lot of people on the ballot, both from obviously presidential election, Senate, everything like that, down to county supervisors and others. So please make sure to utilize your vote. You can find out polling locations if you're unsure where you need to go. You can go to iwillvote.com/IA. Again, if you're unsure where you should vote, it's iwillvote.com/IA. You have until 5 p.m. today. If you're listening to this now, you got a little over a half hour to run down to the Long Lines Recreation Center, which I realized as I was talking to some voters over the last couple of weeks that that's an ironic name, you know, the Long Lines, but I thought it was pretty funny. But yeah, please make sure to get your vote in. The hours tomorrow are from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. And so just make sure that you're in line prior to 9 p.m. in case there are lines. As Julie stated, I would echo those sentiments to make sure that you are safe and taking care of yourself, wearing a mask, all of those things, not only to protect yourself, but to protect your fellow citizens. I would also remind you that if you are disabled or are feeling unsafe, things like that, and you require to vote from curbside, you can do so. I would recommend you pulling up to your polling location with an individual that can go in and express that you have an individual in that vehicle that would like to vote via curbside, something that's guaranteed by the Secretary of State. So if you'll please just make sure and encourage everyone to get to the polls because their voice does really matter, especially in this election. The second thing that I would just bring up and ask is for all of us to continue to encourage social distancing and enforcement of the ordinances put forth by the governor as far as capacity at bars and restaurants. I do know there are bars and restaurants that are doing the right thing, that are really trying to adhere to those guidelines, and I also am sensitive to the fact of how challenging that is just to make ends meet. And so I thank those restaurants. However, I do have grave concerns, especially seeing plenty of photos circulating around Facebook and other social media channels about our bars and restaurants and what was happening on Halloween. It's disconcerting to say the least, because I understand while we're trying to make ends meet and you need to capitalize on opportunities for patrons to come into your establishment, we also need to think about the general health and well-being of our community, making sure to follow those guidelines for the restaurants and bars, and also just taking care of our citizens. We continue to have elevated numbers. The state of Iowa is not doing well in regard to our numbers for COVID-19, and so we need to continue to do everything that we can to slow this down so that we don't have to take any further drastic measures. I think we're all interested in making sure that the economy is open, that we all can participate in it, but it's pretty challenging to participate in an economy if you're not around. So I would just ask our citizens to be diligent and be resilient, do everything you can. I still order a lot of food to go. But really the reason that I wanted to bring up the urgency, Mayor, is I was alerted to the fact, I've heard it now from multiple sources, just that our hospitals are pretty tapped with what they have designated as COVID-19 areas. And so I've heard of now a couple people that have had to be transported to Omaha or neighboring cities, which I think is really troubling when we think of over 75 people have died in our community, and now our hospitals are filling up once again. It's definitely something that I'm concerned about. So I would just ask our citizens to please make sure that you are wearing your face covering in public, especially if you're in a store that requires that. That was a little more long-winded than I planned, but I appreciate the time, Mayor.
Problem. Important information.
Mayor, may I interrupt the next gentleman from speaking before we get down to Dan? I just looked at my phone and I received an email about 5 minutes ago from Pat Collins. Do you know Dick Collins?
Absolutely.
And Pat is his wife, lovely lady. She said she was listening to council and she would be happy to coordinate a Christmas card mailing program for our soldiers.
She would be excellent at that.
Yes, she would. She'd be great. And maybe I can give you her name and phone number. Pardon me? You said Pat Collins? Yes, Dick and Pat Collins. Their son actually is
Ryan.
Collins on the fire department.
Yeah, right.
So, Pat, thank you. I know you're listening. Thank you very much and for making the offer to coordinate the program, and we really appreciate it. And I know you're listening every week, and we appreciate that and your interest. So take good care. Say hi to Dick, and God bless you too. She said God bless to all of us.
Okay.
Thank you.
Pat, this is Dan Moore. I second what Mr. Gretkin just said. Thanks, Pat. I have nothing further, Mayor.
Yes, thank you.
I don't know who brought me the almond joys, Bob, but
They were there the whole time.
Pete, you're the man.
I saw you digging last week for those, and I knew they were your...
Yeah, that's my favorite. My wife gave all of ours away, so this,
Did you have many?
no, we don't get any trick-or-treaters. You kidding me?
Oh.
They know in that neighborhood we're not rich enough.
I was gonna say, they know how tight the mayor is. They're not going out there. Come on.
I knew I shouldn't have said anything.
I move we adjourn.
Second.
Gretkin,
Aye.
Moore,
Aye.
Shaner,
Aye.
Scott,
Aye.
Waters.
Aye.
Stay safe, everyone. Good night.
Yes.